I didn't believe
Lance
in it
and
first.
Roger here on the board, the court side, and we're here with Don Hildebrand of Plumbsmart Technology and getting his take on the problem with our polybutylene pipes and the solution. So Don, first of all, just to introduce the problem. So your take on kind of, we know the history of polybutylene, but you know, for multi-dwelling units that have already started experiencing failures, what's our risk in the future if we take no action?
Taking no action, because when you have polybutylene, especially in a multi-unit home and a multi-unit complex, that's what we have here, and taking no action, especially since there's been repeated over and over repairs and access, and first one thing, constantly people are going through and updating their fixtures, updating their toilets, updating their trim and their faucets is first one thing. And you're just putting more and more and more stress on an already compromised, inferior product. So having poly units such as this will fail. It's not a matter of if, it is a matter of time. And as we get older and older, you're already getting to the end of that lifetime of that product.
Okay, so just walk us through, again, starting in this area, show the homeowner or the tenant your plan, what disruptions, what cut in the walls, remembering we're on a ground floor here at Unit 31,
yes,
and illustrating what the person in the top floor might experience and what the person in the bottom floor might experience, just in a kind of quick few-minute tour here.
Okay, so what we would do initially is we would go into the crawl space with very little disruption to anybody, okay? We'd give plenty of notice for everybody to understand of, what day, what weeks, what days of the week that we're going to be in the home and what areas that we're going to have access to. But we're going to start within the crawl space, and we're going to start there. We're going to come in, we're going to get everything laid out in the crawl space of each one of the units. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up into the bottom floor unit first, this one here first, okay? And what we're going to do is the main areas that we're going to need access to is we're going to need access to the master closet, okay? And this master closet gives us access to everything we need.
And just for the viewer to understand, we just happened to have a unit that was under remodeling and actually found that in this unit, the pipes had already been replaced, but we get to see the cutout so we can actually visualize what it is. And so we're in the master closet, and these are where the access points are.
Right, so we come in underneath, and this hole here happens to be behind the water heater that's out in the front closet there. So we'd be opening a hole here pretty much from the floor to the ceiling, because we're going to be getting to the water heater that's up on the second floor as well. Okay, so we'll be doing that. We'll be also, this is the laundry room area right here, so we'll be opening a hole in the closet here so that we can get to the laundry area. Okay, and then on this wall, pardon the lighting, we don't have light in this room, but on this wall here we have the tub valve that's located approximately right about here, and then we have our toilet, and then we have our lavatory that's over here. So a lot of this wall is going to be getting cut out, maybe sections or maybe one full piece. Okay, it just depends. Probably a few sections at a time. And we'll be coming up in the wall and then penetrating out so that we can give new water lines to the lavatory, the toilet, and the tub over here.
So maybe for a couple days, the resident here will need to stage their gear out of the closet, but we can use the door to help keep the dust and mess and eruption. They can sleep in their bed, but they got to know that this closet is where most of the action is going to happen, right here.
Much of it's going to happen right here in this closet.
Okay.
And then we won't. The only thing we're going to be doing in the bathroom itself is we'll be working under the lavatory, so we won't have to pull the lavatory. We can work under the lavatory, and then we can just pull out right beside the toilet. We don't have to disrupt the toilet. And as far as the shower and the tub's concerned, we won't have to be pulling any trim or anything off of that, because we can do everything we need to do from inside that master closet.
And the tiles will stay intact.
Intact.
The master bathroom will have very little disruption.
Very, very little disruption in the master bathroom.
Okay.
What we're going to do here is, this is the front side of that closet that we were just in, and we're going to be coming up and we'll be putting in new water lines for the water heater. Okay, also we noticed that by looking underneath this unit and in a couple other units, that there were no thermal expansion tanks. We need to add those as a safety precaution for the water heater. They are code, they should be there. So we'll be adding those. And
Can we also get, just to throw in, we also get a internal shutoff valve for each unit?
there will be an internal shutoff valve for each unit, because in the master closet we'll be coming up, okay, and dropping back down. We'll be coming up with that main water line with a shutoff, and it'll drop back down to feed everything within the unit. Okay, it'll shut off the water heater and shut everything off. So you'll have an inside internal shutoff for that. And there'll also be one staged within 3 feet of the crawl space door for the main water lines that come into each one of the building units.
Will there be a cutoff for the upper level units as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so you'd have a cutoff for each unit, not just cutting off the water here, cuts it off up there. It doesn't do that.
No, you can cut the water off here for this unit, but that unit would still have water. And it'll be independently fed, just like this unit.
Right.
And you could cut it off up there and it doesn't affect this one.
Correct. That is correct. Okay?
And it's good for neighbors, up and downstairs neighbors, to have each other's phone numbers so that if you need to shut off the valve.
Just in
Yeah.
case,
Yeah.
it's always good to know, hey, I've got a leak, I got a problem, I want to let you know what's going on. Now we'll be, we've got to get water to the kitchen. Underneath, it won't, for the people downstairs, it won't be a very large disruption because we'll be able to come up from underneath in the crawl space.
Yep.
However, the people that live upstairs, we are going to be impacting the kitchen. So we'll be opening up walls, opening up ceilings above the kitchen sink,
On the first floor.
on the first floor of the kitchen sink. And we'll be having to make a couple, 2 or 3 holes across the kitchen and across the hallway over to here. And what we'll do is we'll be opening up the ceiling here and the wall over here. And we'll be opening this wall in a couple of sections so that we can get water lines down into the crawl space again for that kitchen sink that's over there.
So again, the first floor person, and I'm one of those, is going to have to, you know, there are going to be some gaps up here in the ceiling for a few days until the sheetrocking guy comes behind you to close that up.
That is correct. That
And
is
the upstairs person for their kitchen, are they going to, that's just going to be a day or two to...
They're not going to see hardly any disruption. They're going to have, maybe a couple of visits of somebody in there taking the water lines out, and maybe another visit for somebody. But we're talking, an hour at a time kind of thing.
Okay.
We're not talking a whole day or anything.
Okay.
The person on the bottom level is the one that's going to be impacted the most.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, one little detailed question on feeding these refrigerators. There have been some leaks in these units in the past because people jacklegged to feed over because they didn't have them originally. And they could. How would that do? Would you feed that separately, the refrigerator separately, or would you subfeed it from over here in the kitchen?
What we do is we bring a connection underneath. We bring a connection here as we bring a line over. We'll bring a connection over and up, and it'll pop out near the wall behind the refrigerator.
Right.
It'll be a line. It'll be a shut off and everything, and it'll be just like a line that's in for a faucet or anything else.
Is it just as easy to do for the unit upstairs as well?
Yes, and that's what we'll be doing. We'll be making a connection in the ceiling above, right here, and then running it over there to that. And we won't be feeding from there.
Regular faucet cut off or ball valve?
It'll be a quarter turn. It'll be a quarter turn valve. It'll look like an emergency shut off. That's you've already got. It'll look just like those shut offs that are underneath the sink. Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, one more question, Lance. This PEX is fairly hard. It could be bent, but we've seen the flex, the PEX that is totally flexible, that you don't even have these joints in there, or elbows. Which kind do you use? Do you mix and match?
No, well, all PEX, you can get PEX in 1,000-foot rolls, and you can get it in 10-foot sticks.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are sticks, right?
These are sticks.
Yeah.
Okay. So it just depends on where we're going and do we need to make a change of direction or not, and what the easiest way to do it. We'll be bringing in probably 20-foot sticks, so we'll be having minimal joints.
Yeah. With the joints, you'll have more elbows and turns with the sticks than you will the total flex, right?
Well,
Is it all flexible?
It's all flexible. It's just sometimes you see it in a longer length than you do other times. So you're going to see more joints in a shorter portion. And it just depends on how many drops and how many turns that you need to make. Because you can only bend a pipe regardless of whether it's PEX A or PEX B, because there's two different types.
Yeah.
Regardless of which one you have, it'll only bend in a certain tight radius.
Right.
After that, it kinks. Any pipe does. In the, I guess we refer to this as the hall bathroom, or the guest bathroom.
Yep.
Is we will be opening up the wall in the laundry room downstairs and the laundry room on the second floor. We will be opening this wall, okay? So what we'll be doing is we'll be opening this wall so that we can get to the shower that's behind it, and we can repipe that entire shower through this wall.
And again, this is much more torn up because it just happens to be during a remodel than the resident would be seeing.
Right. In a normal application, the shower walls and everything with shampoo bottles and all that is still going to be sitting in here. But this portion of the sheetrock is, and this portion of sheetrock is going to be out, okay? And we're going to be taking this up here. And then above the shower, in this area here, we're going to be opening up a hole here. We'll also open up a couple of holes here in the ceiling. And that'll allow us to bring the water over so that we can catch, because there's a toilet right up here.
Right.
There's a toilet that matches this one here.
Right.
So we'll be doing that so we can get to the water that's here for the toilet. We will then also be having to cut in this downstairs bathroom. We're going to have to cut a trench and a trough right through here, so that we are now directly under the lavatory. That's like this one mimics. Will be mimicking a lavatory up there. So if that lavatory up there, we'll either be drilling down through the lavatory bottom and down through the floor and down into it so we can access it here, okay? But if we have enough play in the lines, then we're probably gonna just pull the lines straight through the wall, and we can get them from that section to this section, and then we'll have good connection.
Okay. So the master bathroom, minimal disruption. This bathroom, a little bit more disruption, but not untenable. But they would have probably almost undisrupted use of that bathroom, and this bathroom minimal.
They'd still be able to use the toilet, and they're still going to have use of the toilet and the shower.
Just maybe
but this one here, it may be impeding the lavatory itself
for a day or two.
For a day or two,
okay,
until we can get put back. So It's not going to be days on end, because we'll be walking into one unit, and we're considering one unit to be a downstairs and an upstairs unit as one, because we can't do the upstairs without impeding the downstairs.
Right.
So we'll be doing both units basically at the same time. I'll be going through repiping everything, cutting the walls out and everything we've got to do. And once we're done, okay, then we're done. There's no more that we have to do. Okay?
So that it maybe 2 days for one up and bottom unit.
You're probably talking a total of about 3 to 4 days with everything.
Of plumbers coming in and out.
Plumbers, top and bottom, you're talking, go ahead and say a week. I'd rather say 5 days and do it in 4, but I don't want to say 4 and do it in 5.
Okay. All right. Good.
Well, a question.
And then of course the sheetrocking comes after that, but you can use all of your stuff. It's just you'll just be looking at holes in the ceiling, holes
exactly.
in the wall.
You can see everything, but
Okay.
You'll just have to wait for the sheetrocker guy to come through
All right.
and patch the holes and sand.
Okay, thanks, Don. I'm going to stop the video now because we're about 14 minutes, and so we can get it loaded up when it's time. But thanks much, and again, Don Hildebrand at Plumbsmart Technologies.